Hi Vuthy, let's take a look at this set of essays you've sent us. The first one is about weddings and spending a lot of money on them. Let's see what you said, shall we? Okay, first of all, experts. It's not just one expert, so it's multiple experts. So experts throughout the developing and developed world have debated the cost of weddings has increased over the last decade. Okay, so what's happened here is it looks like you're using the template, but you have to make some adjustments to make sure that your sentence makes sense and is appropriate to the context. So there's something missing here, and I don't even know if this is actually appropriate. So let me try it one more time with a couple of amendments. Experts throughout the developing and developed world have debated the fact that the cost of weddings has increased over the last decade. Some believe that marriage is a unique life event which would become expensive because it needs to be celebrated to the fullest. And personally, I strongly agree. Not which would become expensive, but which has become expensive. This essay will argue both sides using examples from the French government and Cambridge University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Now, I want you to be a little careful with this. This is a problem that a lot of students come across with this particular essay. Remember what the question is asking you: the benefits of spending a lot of money. All right. So, if you say that weddings need to be celebrated, and that's why we spend a lot of money on them, and that makes it beneficial to spend a lot of money, you have to really be careful that you're making it sound like a benefit and not like a reason why we spend a lot of money, okay? I'm just saying that because this is something I've seen multiple times with this essay. It's important to show how spending a lot of money is a benefit, okay? Anyway, let's actually see what you wrote, and okay. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that couples spend, not would spend. So couples spend a significant amount of money in the rental. So let's try it again. Spend a significant amount of money on the rental of the wedding venue, which could be located in a famous area. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, people would like to associate a lovely picture with their memories. Secondly, it is also a strong message to family and friends that the union is comparable to a long-term investment. Okay, for example, recent empirical research from the French government has demonstrated that 10% of all couples organizing their wedding in a vineyard, I don't know what that is, will divorce in the next 5 years only. It must not be forgotten that although location is important, the choice of caterer should not be negligible because it will also be part of unforgettable memories. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that an expensive wedding will help to create an unforgettable moment. Okay, you were, you kind of towed the line here. So you did to some extent what I was worried that you might do, yet at the same time you avoided it in one place. You did something here I really liked. Let me show you what it was. Here, it is a strong message to family and friends that the union is comparable to a long-term investment. So that's good. That shows me why this is beneficial. It's like a display to our family and friends that we see our marriage as an investment. That was exactly what shows the benefit of this. But some of the rest of this didn't. For example, the caterer. I didn't really see how that shows me a benefit of spending money. Okay? It shows me why we spend money. You want to be part of an unforgettable memory. Alright, so that shows me why you spend a lot of money, but that doesn't show how it's beneficial. Okay, I hope you understand the difference. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it as clearly as I would like, but there is a difference when you're talking about why we do something and when you're talking about how something benefits us. Okay? Okay, so let's move on. On the other hand, although there's a case for spending money on a lavish wedding and using it to organize a once-in-a-lifetime event favoring the stability of a relationship, comma, The impact of long-term compatibility cannot be overstated. This is largely because couples are getting married too early with a double O, without knowing each other for a sufficient amount of time. For example, a study from Cambridge University has shown that if all couples would contract a debt to finance their wedding, the majority would be insolvent because they may have few divorces in their lifetime. Consequently, it is possible to state beyond doubt that couples need to consider the possibility of divorce as the main drawback when organizing such an expensive event. All right, let me think about this for a second. All right, so having read the whole paragraph, I don't believe that this is the right way to express what the paragraph is actually about. So it's not the impact of long-term compatibility cannot be overstated. It's the increase in the divorce rate. Okay, that's something. The fact that divorces are on the increase cannot be overstated. Something like that would be more appropriate here. Okay, and then this I also didn't agree with. Couples are getting married too early. That's not relevant to any of this. What's more relevant is that while on the one hand we see weddings as an investment, we also see couples giving up on their marriage very easily, and therefore it's not so prudent to spend potentially all of your life savings and maybe even going into debt for a wedding ceremony. Okay, maybe this is the way you should have explained this rather than some of what you said about this business about not knowing each other a long time. A lot of that is really irrelevant. I mean, we don't want to know why people are getting divorced. We just want to say that they are, and this is why it might not be a good idea to go into debt for a wedding. Okay? I hope that's clear too. And this didn't make sense to me. The majority would be insolvent because they may have few divorces in their lifetime. What does that mean? Do you mean that they'll get divorced more than once? And if that's what you mean, then you don't want to say few divorces, but they may have a few divorces. Okay? So, to conclude from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that weddings are worth all the money spent as long as couples consider it as an investment which may fail. It is predicted that the wedding industry will increasingly grow in importance. All right, the first part of this was fine. This I wasn't really crazy about, just because it's not related to anything that you said anywhere else. All of a sudden you're mentioning the wedding industry. If you were going to mention the wedding industry, you probably should have mentioned it a little more here. Like, for example, you could say that one of the benefits of spending a lot of money on weddings is that an entire industry has been created out of weddings. So with multiple jobs, and it's a very lucrative industry in many parts of the world. But you didn't really mention that anywhere. Therefore, I don't really feel like this is terribly relevant when you mention it here. Okay? I would have preferred some other type of prediction that perhaps in the future couples will be more practical. It is predicted that couples will be more practical when considering their wedding expenses. I mean, I think that would have been more appropriate based on what you wrote in the rest of your essay. Okay. Okay, so now let's take a look at your task 1, the job application. So here's what you said. Dear Sir, Madam, don't forget a comma. I'm writing to you following the job advertised on your website where you are looking for a business analyst specialized in the banking industry. Let's fix some of this a little bit. So I'm writing to you regarding the job advertised on your website. This is awkward for me. It just feels awkward. So let's try it one more time a little differently. Let's change around the word order in the sentence a little bit. Job on your website. So how about this? I'm writing to you regarding the advertisement on your website for a business analyst specializing in the banking industry. My educational background, get rid of the S, in finance, get rid of the allowed me to master different asset classes and would constitute solid knowledge, financial knowledge, which is required for your position. All right, again, it's a little awkward, Vuthy. Let's see, my educational background in finance has allowed me to master different asset classes and constitutes the solid financial knowledge required for this position. Grammatically, that certainly makes much more sense, and it flows, and it's more fluid, and it's a better option. I want to remind you that this is a formal letter, and so we never use contractions in formal letters. You have to write every word out, okay? So, it should be, first of all, I have been impressed by the financial results of your company, which demonstrate your competitiveness in the market. Consequently, I would like to participate in your success, and I wish to evolve in a fast-paced environment where I would be able to prove my skills. Finally, I have been able to work in a similar position at my previous company where I was given challenging objectives. I would like to offer my long experience in financial services within your team in order to deliver a successful outcome. I look forward to hearing from you, and I will be available for any information that you may require. Yours faithfully, comma here, don't forget it. Okay, it's fine. There's a little bit that's missing for me. Let's talk about what it is. You did this. You showed me your energy and enthusiasm, especially when you said, I've been impressed by the financial results of your company. It shows that you've been looking into it and that you're enthusiastic. I wish to evolve. All of that was fine. So this part was okay. You mentioned this a little bit in that last paragraph. You said you were given challenging objectives. I would have liked a little more here. Okay. Also, what possible qualifications do you have? You said my educational background in finance. Maybe you could have said a little bit more about that. Maybe mention a degree that you have. Maybe mention some sort of specialization, some sort of seminar, some sort of advanced certificate. Maybe just a little more detail. It looks like it's around 150 words. I haven't done a word count. It feels like it's around 150 words, but I think you could have just embellished a little more, given a little more meat and a little more details, okay? On the whole, it was a good job. Just be careful of the things that I mentioned, some of those little details like the contraction here, no comma, and the no comma here as well. All right, go ahead and correct these, and let's see what you write for us the next time. Good luck.